And that is what creates the foundation of your belief system at age 11. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bendy, and here on this channel we practice flexibility of the mind, the body, and the spirit. I need some water. Today's video is all about your secret sauce, your chemical X, if you will, your belief system. We're going to talk all about how your belief system is your magical elixir to the life that you desire. Now, before we get into this, I have to just very quickly talk about my love child, my group, the Manifestation Yoga Collective. MYC is a group of people who come together every weekend to talk about manifesting and to deepen their understanding of the way the universe works in regard to them bringing their personal desire into their lives. On Saturday we meet and we have personal law of attraction lessons. It's also kind of like an accountability lesson. And then on Sunday we do yoga together and we meditate and we get our vibration up for the upcoming week. So if this sounds like something that you'd be interested in, the information will be in the description box. And if you're not quite ready to subscribe yet, no worries. We also have a free Facebook group and I will also put the information of that in the description box as well. Okay, let's get to the video. Before we can talk about anything else, we have to talk about belief systems. What is a belief system? My understanding of belief systems deepened when I started to study child psychology. So that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about right now. I won't get too deep into it because this video can only be so long. So from age 2 to age 7, you are in the pre-operational phase. Your brain is in the pre-operational phase. Your brain is just starting to understand the world around you and create memories based off of what you were learning from the world around you. At this point, a lot of what is learned is tactile through the senses, but from age 2 to 7, you also begin to have imagination as well as become conscious of what others around you are doing, but not so much emotionally, more so just observing physical actions of those around you, what you see. From age 2 to 7, you are also able to understand the concept of the past and the future. This is relevant because of our understanding as adults of the past and the future. Next, your brain enters the concrete operational stage, and this takes place from age 7 to age 11. Things aren't so abstract anymore, but you have a better understanding of why people are doing the things that they do. You know, when you're really young, you think the world revolves around you because you're learning so much. But this is the age where you can really start to observe others and you understand that others are different. So this is exciting. Others are different, so it's something to study. It's more to learn about the world. So you begin to observe others outside of yourself to have a better understanding of, again, how the world works. At age 11, you reach the formal operational stage. This is the last stage where you take everything you've learned from birth and you begin to logically apply it to your life experience. And that is what creates the foundation of your belief system at age 11. We get a lot of our beliefs from our childhood, from as young as age 11, which I think is just absolutely mind-blowing because it's so long ago for some of us that we can't even consciously remember what was going on at that time, but our subconscious remembers because that time is what created our belief system. Whatever was happening for you around that time or earlier created your viewpoint of the world. That information is what your decision making and reasoning is based off of. All this to say, We do have the ability to change neural pathways as adults. You can change your belief system as an adult. But if you need to have a better understanding of where you're starting from, look at your childhood. Look at the home you grew up in, the environment that you were raised in, and figure out what beliefs came from that environment. And the next step is going to figure out if those beliefs serve you. We're all adults now. We're all responsible for how we navigate through the world. It doesn't matter what we learned when we're 11 if we're out here disrespecting people and not being kind to other people. What we learned when we were children doesn't really mean anything to the person that we're disrespecting or not being kind to. So you may find that there are behaviors that you want to let go of. There are certain parts of your personality that do not serve you and that you want to leave behind, but it seems so difficult. And that is because of Hebb's law. Hebb's law basically states that when we make a decision or when we reason within our mind and we think specific thoughts, when we think those thoughts over and over again, those thoughts become easier and easier to think. They become a part of our personality. They become a part of our being. The neural pathways become deeper every time that we think those thoughts, which is why it's so easy to be that person. That being said, at any age, it is possible to create new neural pathways. But Hebb's law is the reason why there is so much resistance to this change. For example, if you grew up in a home where people were just constantly being very mean, that's just how the family showed affection, by bullying each other and hurling insults at each other. That's just how they showed love. But as an adult, you don't want to do that anymore because you feel like that pushes people away. Yet you can't really figure out how to soften and how to show genuine affection instead of using negativity to connect with that person. Hebb's law will make it so that even though you are consciously thinking, I want to give you a compliment, I want to be vulnerable, I want to be close to you, your subconscious will be saying, I love this person, let me say something mean. Hey, big head, all that stuff, right? So that is why it is so important to understand this so that you do not get upset with yourself, so that you do not get angry, and most importantly, so you don't think that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just the environment you were in when you were young. And again, as adults, we have the power to change our neural pathways and decide who we want to be. It just takes a little bit of effort. So what you will do in those moments where you know that you want to act differently is take a pause. Give yourself time to think about how you want to act, and then be prepared for the resistance of the experience. When you decide that you want to give someone a compliment, when you decide that you want to be vulnerable, the words coming out of your mouth will feel different, because it's probably the first time you're ever saying something of this nature to another person. When you're being vulnerable with someone, it will feel different. So when this happens, it's important that you accept that you will feel resistance, and also accept that it will take repetition of this behavior to put it in your personality. The first 1 or 2 times, it may feel so awkward and so out of left field that you feel like you're pretending to be a different person. But essentially, you are, for the sake of becoming the person that you want to be. It takes taking that leap. Repetition is one of the only ways to change the subconscious and rewire the brain. It is not emotional, it is logical. You must tell your brain something over and over and over and over again in order for it to believe this thing as true, because we have so much other information stored that we already believe that is true that might conflict with the information that we are trying to now adopt. So whatever personality trait that you are trying to adopt, you must be consistent and you must be committed. And most of all, be prepared for the resistance because you are changing your personality. For this, I love affirmations. Affirmations to me are the best way to rewire the subconscious. One, because it's repetition. It's saying the same mantra over and over and over again. But what I also love about affirmations is that they teach us how we should be speaking to ourselves, how we should be talking to ourselves. So for example, if you grew up in a home where people were insulting you in a way to show you love, then it's very likely that when you were younger, a lot of nice things weren't said to you. So by using affirmations, you're able to say nice things to yourself over and over and over again in order to rewire the brain into your inner monologue, saying nice things on its own. The thing about the law of attraction is when you have a desire, when you want to change your life, you have to accept that you want it because you don't already have it. So something needs to change in order for you to shift in this direction. And change often feels awkward and different. But that's okay, as long as you're prepared for the experience of this feeling awkward and different. Another thing I really like for repetition is the 555 method, and I have a few videos about that on my channel if you are interested and want to check that out. So, we've talked about belief systems and how important belief systems are to the current place we are in our lives. Then we talked about Hebb's Law, why it can be so difficult to change belief systems. Now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, we can talk about the fun stuff, intentionally believing. And this comes with creating a vision and a perspective of the life that you want to have for yourself. Understanding how you want to feel on a daily basis and knowing what you need in every aspect of your life to make that happen. Because on this channel, we believe that we're manifestors, okay? We can make anything happen in any area of our lives because life is supposed to feel good. So, how do we do this? How do we go about this? The first part of this is going to be, again, defining that life for yourself. I personally did this for myself through scripting, and I scripted for about 2 years to really get a good understanding of what I wanted. Because at the beginning of the process, I had no idea. I thought I did. I had a bunch of ego desires, but I had no idea what my soul wanted. So for a while, I would script, and if you don't know what scripting is, I will put a link in the description box below to explain what scripting is. But for a while, I would script to gain a better understanding of who I was and what I needed in my life to truly be fulfilled. And through this process, I began to analyze what I needed and what I needed to believe in order for this life to be true. So that might sound a little confusing. So let's reference the example from before. This person who grew up in a home that did not have a lot of love in it. This person may decide that they want a relatively simple life with no conflict. They had conflict their entire childhood, so they're done with it. As an adult, they decide, I want a life that's just full of love and peace. Now, a person who is raised in a home with a lot of conflict has belief systems where conflict is a necessity because that's what they saw when they were younger. So if a person who grew up in a home with constant conflict wants a life with no conflict, what is one of the major beliefs that they will have to change? That person will have to change the belief that life can be drama-free. And of course, words. These are just words, easy to change, right? But the thing is, when we live a certain way for a while, that lifestyle is also in our bodies. So a person who is used to constant conflict, constant drama can say, oh, well, now I believe that life can be drama-free. But that means that as days go by, as weeks go by, that person has to be okay with there not being any conflict. And a lot of times when a person is used to conflict, they will find ways to make conflict happen so that their life is staying the way that they expect it to be, which is where the growth comes in. So this person will have to relearn how to communicate with people. They'll have to better understand body language. They'll have to better understand communication skills so they know when they're being aggressive, so they know when they're being offensive. That's all a part of it. They'll have to begin to learn empathy and how to not say things that will hurt other people simply because before they were in a home where no one cared about how their words affected anyone. That's where this person's growth is going to come from. I understand that this is a really deep example, but I just want to explain that changing belief systems is possible, changing realities is possible, but the work comes in ways that sound so easy and we don't often expect. And sometimes the work is very easy, but we just have to slow down enough to listen to our mind, to hear what our mind is saying. So like I mentioned before, you can use repetition to change your beliefs. So an example would be this person may have to incorporate a mantra that says, everyone loves me, everyone loves me. Something that rewires the mind into believing that everyone is not that person's enemy. Because again, they were raised in a home where there was constant conflict. They never knew what anyone was going to do or say. So if this person rewires their mind to believe, everybody loves me, everybody loves me, everybody loves me, instead of everyone's my enemy, everyone's my enemy. Of course, the former feels better. The former feels more in alignment because it's rooted in love. And a person who believes that everyone loves them is going to do their best to reciprocate that love. But a person who believes everyone is my enemy is going to be on the defensive all the time. But the simple awareness of knowing the life that you are shifting into is what gives you the direction of the beliefs that you are trying to change. It takes understanding the picture of the life that you want for yourself to know where the importance lies in the belief systems that you want to work on. When you identify those belief systems, you can then use repetition to change the beliefs in order to start to modify and design your life the specific way that you want it. If you take on each of your beliefs that do not serve you, one by one, you will begin to watch and feel the shift in your life, even if you take on beliefs one by one. Because you are changing your own groundwork. And you have the ability to do this. Just be kind to yourself and be patient. And use the breath to get you through it. Listen to your thoughts unemotionally and make an intellectual decision on whether that thought serves you. If it doesn't, how can you replace it with a belief that does? All right, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video because I enjoyed making it. If you did, give it a thumbs up so other people on YouTube know that it is valuable. Also, if you would like me to expand on anything that I talked about in this video, just let me know down below and I will mention it in a future video. Last but not least, please make sure that you are subscribed and that you click the notification bell so that you can become a part of the Bendy Bunch and become a reality bender yourself. I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next upload. Bye.